safer than I felt back in the States. I have enjoyed being here so much, and so has Harry, my love. I think paradise must be like this, she said, waving her arms at the profusion of sweet-smelling flowers, the meadows of green grass, the umbrella-like trees, and the pungent scent of pine from the forest that carried on the breeze from time to time. We have everything here, a tennis court, this pool, gardens, excellent food from those gardens and from the villagers. We will be learning new survival methods starting tomorrow, and, she wagged one of her tiny fingers, we will be expanding our minds, although I know I will never be able to speak German. It is too guttural sounding, and my tongue will not work for the words. The others laughed. Guess you aren't going to sleep, then, Catherine said. Charles is going to crack the whip. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Do any of you think there's a change in Charles? Isabel whispered in return. Of course there's a change in him. He's blaming himself because we got caught. Thank God he had the presence of mind to prepare this place for us ahead of time, or we'd all be sitting in the slammer. Let's just say Yoko's mission was a bit out of the ordinary and let it go at that. We're here, and we have to make the best of it. By the way, Annie has me designing a new schoolhouse for the village. When I'm finished, I'm going to design a small library. Annie de Silva, who owned the monastery as well as the actual mountain, and her longtime friend Myra Rutledge climbed out of the pool. Both donned terry robes as they made their way across the terracotta patio that surrounded the Olympic-sized pool. "Did I hear my name mentioned?" Annie asked as she towel-dried her hair. "You did. We were talking about the villagers and all you do for them," Alexis said. "I love helping them. They're like my family. I want you to believe me when I tell you those villagers will protect us with their lives. Are you girls homesick?" As one, the young women said, "No." Myra sat down next to Nicky and reached for her lotion. "I'm so glad. Charles, Annie, and I have been worried that you might want to go back and face the music." Always the most verbal of the group, Catherine said, "Not in this lifetime. I do miss my truck at times. On the other hand, think about it. What's to miss? You're all here. I have Murphy," she said, patting the German shepherd that was always at her side. "Plus, the eats are great." Catherine was a lover of all food, fine food, bad food, any kind of food. "Where are the boys?" Myra asked. "Playing with the catamaran," Nicky answered. "They wanted to check out the speedboats and the jet skis. Jack volunteered to keep everything in shape. He likes Fernando, the young guy in charge of the upkeep of all the watercraft. He'll be going off to university in Madrid in the fall, so Jack asked him to teach him about boats. He's loving the experience. Harry is... What he's doing is outfitting the boats with a few special devices. They can hardly wait for those cigarette boats to be delivered." Nicky beamed as she peered over the top of her sunglasses. Annie leaned back in her patio chair. "That was Charles's idea. He said a cigarette boat can outrun any boat except another cigarette boat. Drug runners use them all the time, and the authorities never seem to catch them. Fernando is going to teach all of you how to operate the boats. He's a wonderful young man, and he grew up on the water. So, girls, what's on your agenda for the rest of the day?" Myra asked. Myra Rutledge, heiress to a Fortune 500 candy company, had formed the Sisterhood a few years ago, back in the States, with the help of her adopted daughter, Nicole Quinn, after her own daughter, Barbara, was killed by a drunken driver with diplomatic immunity. Myra had thrown caution to the winds and enlisted Charles Martin's help in finding ways to help women who had fallen through the cracks of the justice system. Charles, an ex-MI6 operative in service to Her Majesty the Queen of England, had gone to the United States to head up security for Myra's company many years ago. In their youth, Myra, on a trip to England with her family, met and fell in love with Charles. But duty called, and Charles went on assignment, and so Myra returned to the States, carrying a baby in her womb.